Well, hey, welcome back. Jordan Avi is going to join you a little later. Right now, though, you're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14 and many other things. And today, the Parsons Police Department has increased the reward for information concerning the killing of a police officer's dog.
And looking outside at 7th and Range Line, we are seeing finally clear skies as the sun continues to rise. That is setting us up for a beautiful day and a warmer day as well. We'll start breaking down the forecast coming up.
Also, we're going to meet a pair of sisters who meet for the first time after 73 years. All that and more coming up.
Your state's most watched news starts now.
Thank you for joining us for the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Chris Warner. Police have increased the reward for anyone who can offer information leading to the arrest of whoever brutally killed a police officer's dog. Last week, Ranger was found dead in his owner's backyard. Police yesterday announced they've increased the reward to $3,000. Parsons Police Chief Robert Spinks said in a statement, quote, "This was not just the killing of a dog. It was a brutal mutilation of a beloved pet and attempted threat to one of our officers." A jury finds a Newton County man guilty of shooting a man who he said keyed his car. Authorities say in 2019, Donald White went to a man's house and started shooting the man's vehicles with a shotgun. Then, when the man came outside, he shot him as well. And that man survived. White testified he went to the house because his vehicle had been keyed. White is convicted of second-degree assault and armed criminal action. Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt says he'll continue to fight President Biden's COVID-19 vaccine mandates.
President Biden's administration does not believe in personal responsibilities.
The governor appeared on Tuesday with Oklahoma Attorney General John O'Connor. The state has asked a federal judge to stop the mandatory vaccinations for federal employees and National Guard members.
My problem is with the notion of it being mandated. I also have a problem with the use of our paychecks as the tool or weapon against our employees, our good Oklahomans. And I have a problem with the federal government using our good employers to do the dirty work for the Biden administration.
Governor Stitt maintains that the federal mandates are unconstitutional and an example of federal overreach. The state is filing 5 lawsuits to fight the federal mandates. On Tuesday, Leggett & Platt presented new safety equipment to the Franklin Technology Center in Joplin. The company donated a total of 925 respirator masks in a couple of different sizes and 250 filters to Franklin Tech.
Now, these masks are going to be used not only by our daytime programs, which serve high schools from Joplin, Webb City, Carl Junction, and Sarcoxy, but also will help out our adult programs at night that serve people from throughout the areas.
And of course, Franklin Tech located at the high school and at 810 South Wall in Joplin. In the spring of 2020, Crowder College jumped into the world of esports, and now they've claimed their first national championship. Tyler Clement picked up first place in the NJCAA Esports National Tournament. His game of choice, Call of Duty Warzone. That's obviously a big accomplishment and will help the sophomore as he looks to continue his esports career at a university.
I was trying to play off placement, but also get my elims and everything. So getting those together, that first game, I won that entire game. But the second one, I got 4th in. But it was pretty cool seeing, being able to do that and have that, luck to get that far in without being stopped.
7 other Crowder students participated in the national tournament, playing games such as NBA 2K21 and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. The city of Chanute is combining 2 holiday staples to give kids a fun time. They hosted a candy cane hunt. It's similar to an Easter egg hunt where kids searched around the Central Park Pavilion. Now, the lucky kids who found green candy canes received a special prize.
Last year, with all the COVID and everybody being quarantined or keeping to themselves, we wanted to get the kids out in the community and get them to do a little activity, a little exercise in, so we decided to do this, and it was a good turnout, so we're going to make it an annual event.
There were multiple candy cane hunts separated by age groups to make sure everyone had a fair shot. Well, Job, Parks and Recreation Department and Mercy Hospital are encouraging families to be active during the holidays, and they're offering an incentive. The Roll and Stroll program is an activity challenge created to coincide with the holiday tree trail. The first 200 people who register with the Parks Department and complete at least 5 listed activities will receive plush knit beanies from Mercy. The activities include walking, biking, or even roller skating. Authorities in Florida rescued a boy trapped in a concrete sewer pipe. The South Trail Fire Department says it was called to a house Monday night. They say a boy was playing on a stack of sewer pipes when his lower leg got wedged inside one. Firefighters tried to get him with water, lubricant, and even shoe removal. Nothing worked. So they decided to start chiseling away at the concrete. Firefighters put the boy in earmuffs and safety goggles as they worked to remove the pieces. He was safely extracted with only a scrape on his knee. And that's pretty impressive considering the situation, to come out with just a scrape on your knee. But I mean, kids can be pretty tough, can be pretty resilient. If that was me, I would have come out with missing a foot or something.
Yeah, well, at least, like you said, thankfully, like, the little boy ended up being okay. And
yeah,
like, the worst that you got out of that is just a scrape to the knee, and a lesson that you should probably play elsewhere where you don't fall into that danger.
Yeah, you want to. You know, that's the thing, is they always say you want to be extra careful when it comes to construction sites and any number of things. And I mean, at the same time, I think it was Jeff Foxworthy went on once about how sometimes you got to let kids do certain things, because then they learn that it's unpleasant or whatever the situation is, and they won't do it again.
Yeah, you got to let kids be kids, and they certainly do learn that way.
You want to make sure they don't put themselves in life-threatening peril by all means, but you know, a kid grabs something that's hot, or you know, kicks something like a brick with their bare foot. Well, they're not going to do it again once they do it the first time.
Yeah. Well, on the other hand, though, we're looking okay. At least there's nothing threatening to worry about as we get ready to go through the rest of our Wednesday. A much better change in the weather setup here. This was our upper level wave that passed through the other day. The same wave that left us with a lot of clouds, some random flurries and sprinkles in a few spots. But now that it's off to the east, and with an area of high pressure keeping a southerly breeze in place, that is certainly leading to a brighter start to our Wednesday morning, but that's also led us to quite a cold start. We'll show you the numbers as we look outside from the 7th range line from the east side of Joplin. We have Joplin Regional checking in to 31 degrees with the south breeze at 6. That breeze has picked up a little bit. It's just strong enough to make it feel like 25 degrees outside. Outside of the Joplin area, we have 24 in Iola, Parsons as well, 28 in Chanute. So a bit of a contrast in temperatures from the mid-20s to the lower 30s, and where the breeze is up enough, feels like 18 in Iola, 21 in Chanute, 27 in Veneta. Everyone else feels like we're in the mid-20s, but we are on the right track as far as temperatures go, with mostly sunny skies. Thankfully, a brighter day compared to yesterday. We'll quickly go to 35 by 8 a.m., 51 by noon, but not looking bad for this afternoon with highs around 56. That's above our average high of 50 degrees at this point in the month of December. In fact, the entire area will be near 50 or 51 by the time we get the afternoon started, and then we'll push into the mid-50s with quiet skies for the afternoon. Now, as you can see on the future track, as we head into tonight, another burst of cloud cover wants to roll on in. That's because of another quick system passing by. Maybe a couple sprinkles to come along for the ride as well, but you'll see how most of us will stay primarily dry, especially as we get your Thursday morning started, but partly to mostly sunny again tomorrow, and certainly temperatures eager to respond to that. So the extended forecast, at least the next few days, looking okay. Let's go again, 56 today, 68 on your Thursday, 73, another tease of the 70s to get this weekend started, but that's also when our next cold front will roll on through. We could get some scattered showers in here on Friday, but it'll definitely deliver on colder air behind the front. 49 Saturday, 56 on Sunday. Then, fortunately, Chris, will be bouncing back into the 60s early next week.
Still kind of a roller coaster, even, you know, getting into further into December. Those temperatures just don't want to balance out just yet. They can't make up their mind if they want to be mild or cold.
And as to be expected, this is all part of Doug's pattern and from his month-long forecast, but he definitely touched base with me the other night, and we're still set for the middle of next week. That's when it's going to start to get a little bit active again. So in the meantime, though, The forecast in the short term not looking too bad.
Not looking bad at all. Nick, thank you so much. And coming up, a major British study says mixing COVID-19 vaccines give us better protection against the virus. And later, a Nevada teen's battle with cancer inspired him to give back during the holidays, and he's helping others will get involved too. You're watching KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. A new study shows that new cases of anorexia skyrocketed in children and teenagers earlier during the pandemic. The study was published Tuesday in the JAMA Network Open. It examined newly diagnosed cases of anorexia in children and adolescents at 6 pediatric hospitals in Canada between March and November of 2020. Researchers found the cases increased from roughly 24 per month to around 40 per month. Hospitalizations were up too, from roughly 7 per month to 20 per month. Most of the new cases were identified in girls. Notably, the trends were more pronounced in areas with higher rates of COVID-19 infections. In Health Watch, a major British study says mixing COVID-19 vaccines could give us better protection against the virus. Many Americans are already mixing their booster shots. Ian Lee reports.
New research out of the UK reveals mixing vaccines could be your best defense against COVID-19.
And we found really good immune responses across the board.
A University of Oxford study of more than 1,000 volunteers showed those who received a first dose of the Pfizer vaccine, followed by a second shot of Moderna 9 weeks later, saw a boost in immunity compared to just getting the same vaccine twice.
And we're showing there is flexibility. You don't have to stick rigidly to receiving the same vaccine for a second dose.
While the spread of new COVID variants like Omicron is putting pressure on countries around the world to speed up vaccination campaigns, Europe's top drug regulator says mixing vaccines could help.
Overall, it seems that this strategy is something that all type of vaccine could be benefiting from, and indeed different combination would still be extremely valuable.
The Food and Drug Administration has approved the mixing and matching of booster vaccines in the U.S. Some European countries like Spain and Germany are mixing the initial doses too.
Looking forward, if we want to target what's going to generate the best antibodies or the best T-cell response, these studies are providing a wealth of information that will really inform the science of this new approach to vaccines.
A mix and match method, scientists say, is not just effective, but safe too. Ian Lee, CBS News, London.
Researchers say these findings supporting flexible dosing will give hope to poor countries which may need to combine different brands if supplies run low. Researchers in South Africa said Tuesday that the Omicron coronavirus variant partially evades the Pfizer vaccine. However, the study also showed that people previously infected who were then vaccinated are likely to be well protected. Boosters are also likely to add more protection. Pfizer CEO Albert Bourla gave an update on Tuesday on when he thinks an Omicron-specific vaccine could be ready if it's needed. A German family has quite a festive way to celebrate the Christmas season. That is with hundreds of trees. And this year, the Germans have outdone themselves again, setting up 444 decorated Christmas trees. That's up from the 420 trees they decorated and put up in 2020. The family even was presented a certificate Monday from the German Record Institute for the most decorated Christmas trees in one place. That is a lot of Christmas trees in one place, to be certain. I think that's one too many Christmas trees.
Is there room for anything else in that house? I mean, I like Christmas trees a lot, but you got to live in that house.
I know. See,
somehow.
I'm wondering where they store those Christmas trees. Now, speaking of Christmas, something extraordinarily important that we have to talk about. We talked about it on KOAM. We want to let our Fox viewers know this too. There's an Icelandic Christmas legend. There he is. Wait,
is behind me now?
He is.
Okay,
he's watching you. There's an Icelandic Christmas legend about the Yule Cat. And the way it goes is the Yule Cat, hold on, I want to make sure, I'm coming back, don't worry, I haven't gone anywhere. Woo, got one too many papers. I just want to make sure I tell you the right story here. So the Yule Cat is a huge and vicious cat, as you can see, just like that one, who lurks about the snowy countryside during Christmas time, or the Yule, and See, this is why, Nick, go back up there because I want to show you. This is how, look how giant that cat is. This is why it's important. Because this giant cat.
You blow up the whole picture, yeah, it's going to eat me.
And that's what it says. The Yule Cat eats people who have not received any new clothes to wear before Christmas Eve. So everybody out there, make sure you've got some new clothes to wear. Well, you have to receive them. It says so here. You have to receive some new clothes to wear before Christmas Eve, or the guy behind Nick, he's going to come and he's going to get you.
Well, will this cat spare me if I say temperatures will look better today?
I think he might, because I know I certainly will, and I think other 4-staters will spare you, Nick. We will not eat you if temperatures are nice.
I know, and we deserve it because we were stuck in the 40s the past few days, but the setup, the changing weather setup, look at that. The cloud cover that was abundant the other day has cleared out, and along with the few sprinkles and flurries that we saw, but we're still looking okay for 7th and Range, and now that the sun is finally beginning to rise up. 31 in Joplin, feels like 25 degrees outside with that south breeze of 6 miles per hour. As far as the rest of the day is concerned, we'll go to 35 quickly by 8 o'clock, but soaring into the lower 50s by noon and pushing 56 degrees for this afternoon. That's just in the Joplin area, but the same really applies for the entire region. We'll be near 50 overall as we head toward the start of the afternoon, then pushing into the mid-50s for this afternoon. Now, as Doug said the other night, another quick system wants to pass on by tonight and wants to bring some cloud cover back into the fold, and maybe a couple sprinkles as well, but we'll have overnight lows early in the upper 40s and then warming throughout the morning and then pushing into the 60s for tomorrow. I'm thinking 68 degrees for tomorrow afternoon. 73 Friday, but then another strong cold front could bring a few showers our way, but ultimately it'll knock us back into the 40s on Saturday and 50s on Sunday. We'll be back with more of the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14 when we come back. After more than 70 years, 2 women living in different states found out they're sisters. And then after finding each other by accident, they're meeting for the first time in person. Gary Brody has her story.
So excited. I can imagine what she's thinking.
Linda Hoffman is just minutes away from meeting her older sister for the first time.
I just want to take off running, you know, when I see her.
Their face-to-face encounter has been nearly 2 years in the making.
I had a message from Harriet and said, I think we're related.
The long-lost sisters found each other by a perfect accident, with Hoffman and Harriet Carter both signing up for Ancestry.com. Carter was given up for adoption at birth when her parents were 18. Their parents both died decades ago, taking the secret with them.
We were 100% match, but my parents never told a soul, ever.
Hoffman and Carter have been talking over the phone nearly every day since.
Oh wait, that's her, that's her. Hello? Where are you?
But because of the pandemic, they never met until now.
Oh my God, that's her.
Oh, let me see you. Your glasses are all... There you are.
Finding more similarities than they thought possible.
You do look like me.
I do?
Yes. I can't believe how much you look like Mom.
Your mom, yeah.
Our mom.
Our mom.
Our mom. I can't quit staring at you.
Even before leaving the airport, the two sisters take a step back in time.
Okay, this is our mom.
Okay.
And that looks just like Lulu.
My little picture, I'll find those. That look just like that.
A glimpse of memories missed.
This picture's sad because you're not in it.
To see all those pictures, that just, you know, that's the love and the bonding and the closeness. And now as I get older, especially relevant.
As the two get to Hoffman's home, the 76-year-old Carter is greeted to a special room of Christmas decorations for her arrival.
Look at this. I love poinsettias, too.
It's not the time missed they dwell on. Instead, cherishing the time they have left.
I think we found each other when we were supposed
to. Everything happens when it's supposed to anyway.
I'm Gary Brode.
So nice. Thank you so much.
I love you.
I love you, too.
Thank you so much.
That's a very nice, uplifting story. We got another one after the break as well, as long as honoring today's 4-state heroes. Stick with us.
It's time now to honor today's 4-state hero. Riverton, Kansas native Steve Norman served in the U.S. Navy from 1987 to 1996 aboard the USS Ray, a fast attack submarine. He was in the Cold War and fought in the Gulf War and received numerous awards. And to Steve Norman, we thank you, today's 4-state hero. A Nevada teen's battle with cancer 2 Christmases ago inspired him to give back during the holidays. Jonah Howell is collecting money to buy gifts for kids at the renowned Children's Hospital in Reno. As Michelle Lorenzo reports, he believes the gifts will spread holiday cheer during a difficult time.
Spending the holidays at the hospital could be daunting for anyone, especially children.
A lot of kids don't expect to be in the hospital during the holiday season, and being here during Christmas is a real difficult time.
18-year-old Jonah Howell knows that all too well. In December of 2019, he found out he had cancer around Christmas time.
At first, it was a shock, but the hardest part was Christmas. I had my phone, so I was watching everyone celebrate Christmas and seeing what they got for Christmas that year. And I was stuck in the hospital.
Howell is currently in remission and he's on a mission, even if he gets to spend this Christmas at home. For the second year in a row, the 18-year-old is collecting money to buy packages that includes a Christmas tree kids can decorate and a gingerbread house.
It's awesome to have him back doing this for the kids in our community that have to be here during the holiday season.
Now the goal is to buy at least 55 Christmas sets that will be delivered to the Children's Hospital. So far, Howell was able to raise enough money to buy 20 sets, but to reach his goal, he's encouraging people to get involved.
It's the time to share and give, and it will just make me happy to know I can make the kids happy. It would make the kids happy knowing they have Christmas back.
Now, if you'd like to donate, Jonah Howell and his family set up a registry with Target. People have until December 18th to give, and the Christmas packages are scheduled to be delivered to the hospital on December the 20th. We've got another half hour of news and weather just ahead. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14, former cop who shot a man fatally during a routine traffic stop sees her day in court. And an innocent man who was in jail for 27 years is finally released after it came out there was corruption behind the investigation. You're watching KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. We'll be right back.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It is currently 7:31. Let's take a look at today's top stories. Police have increased the reward for anyone who can offer information leading to the arrest of whoever brutally killed a police officer's dog. Last week, Ranger was found dead in his owner's backyard. Police yesterday announced they've increased the reward to $3,000. Parsons Police Chief Robert Spinks said in a statement, quote, "This was not just the killing of a dog. It was a brutal mutilation of a beloved pet and attempted threat to one of our officers." A jury finds a Newton County man guilty of shooting a man who he said keyed his car. Authorities say in 2019, Donald White went to a man's house and started shooting the man's vehicles with a shotgun. Then, when the man came outside, he shot that man as well. That man survived, and White testified that he went to the house because his vehicle had been keyed. White is convicted of second-degree assault and armed criminal action. On Tuesday, Leggett & Platt presented new safety equipment to the Franklin Technology Center in Joplin. The company donated a total of 925 respirator masks in a couple of different sizes and 250 filters to Franklin Tech.
Now, these masks are going to be used not only by our daytime programs, which serve high schools from Joplin, Webb City, Carl Junction, and Sarcoxy, but also will help out our adult programs at night that serve people from throughout the areas.
Of course, Franklin Tech located at the high school and at 810 South Wall in Joplin. In the spring of 2020, Crowder College jumped into the world of esports. Now they've claimed their first national championship. Tyler Clement picked up first place in the NJCAA Esports National Tournament. His game of choice? Call of Duty Warzone. That's obviously a big accomplishment and will help the sophomore as he looks to continue his esports career at a university.
I was trying to play off placement, but also get my elims and everything. So getting those together, that first game I won that entire game, but the second one I got fourth in. But it was pretty cool seeing, like, being able to do that and have that, I guess, luck to get that far in without being stopped.
7 other Crowder students participated in the national tournament playing games such as NBA 2K21 and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Joplin Parks and Recreation Department and Mercy Hospital are encouraging families to be active during the holidays, and they're offering an incentive. The Roll and Stroll program is an activity challenge created to coincide with the holiday tree trail. The first 200 people who register with the Parks Department and complete at least 5 listed activities will receive plush knit beanies from Mercy, and those activities include walking, biking, or even roller skating. What do you do when you have a lot of money? Well, in some cases, you buy a town. At least that's what billionaire Mark Cuban did. He is now the owner of Mustang, Texas, located about 45 minutes south of Dallas. Cuban told the Dallas Morning News he bought it because a buddy needed to sell it. It's unclear how much the owner of the Dallas Mavericks paid for the 77 acres. In 2017, Mustang was reportedly put up for sale for $4 million. Cuban didn't say what he plans to do with the tiny town of 21 people. Right now, there's just a trailer park and Whispers Cabaret Strip Club. As of last Friday, you like this, the club's name had been changed to Mark Cabaret on Google Maps. Now, I don't know if I bought a town and as a recognition for buying that town, the local strip joint was named after me. Nick, what are your thoughts if you were to purchase a town and your legacy is the local gentleman's club now carries your name to say, hey, it's Nick Kelly's town?
I honestly don't know. I honestly have no idea.
I think this is where the Yule Cat comes back and eats the town. But, I mean, I don't know. Or perhaps the Wendy's lady that we talked about earlier. I'm just saying, if Mark's not satisfied with his purchase, I guess he can fire a couple of rounds into the air. I don't know about having the strip joint named after you.
I will say that we'll definitely be satisfied with how the weather's shaping up for today.
It looks better. It looks better.
This wave that got us the cloud cover and the sprinkles and flurries the other day, that's continuing to work off toward the east. We have an area of high pressure over the Missouri-Arkansas border. That's keeping the southerly breeze in play for today. Couple all of that with much more clearing skies, certainly after the cloud-covered skedaddled last night. Look at how nice it looks from south of the range line. That is a mostly sunny sky, and that is going to help out with temperatures as we go through the rest of the day. Right now, still cold at 31. South wind at 6 miles per hour. It's making it feel like 25 degrees, but we are not done by a long shot warming things up. Forget about the 40s today. We'll be near 51 by noon and topping out right around 56 degrees this afternoon. That's just for downtown Joplin, but everybody will be pushing near 50 by the time the noon hour gets underway, and then pushing highs into the mid-50s with mostly sunny skies. We've got more cloud cover though, thanks to a quick wave, another one that'll pass nearby later on tonight. All it's going to really do, again, just partly to mostly cloudy, maybe a couple sprinkles, but you see how lows drop back near 47 by midnight. Then it's going to warm throughout the course of the morning, and certainly as we go into tomorrow afternoon. 68 for your Thursday, 73 Friday. A mild start to the weekend, but it doesn't stay mild though. Once another cold front works through on Friday, we'll be back to 49 on Saturday and 56 on Sunday. We're back after the break. Today in a Minneapolis courtroom, a former police officer will stand trial for what happened during a traffic stop, a stop that ended with the death of a young black man named Daunte Wright. Rick Conway breaks down what we can expect as opening statements begin in the trial of Kim Potter, and please be advised that some content might be a bit graphic, so viewer caution is advised.
April 11th, Brooklyn Center, Minnesota. A traffic stop turns into an attempted arrest, but then a struggle. But it wasn't a taser. 20-year-old Daunte Wright was killed.
This is a taser. But no, my nephew was killed with this, a Glock.
The officer had the intention to deploy their taser, but instead shot Mr. Wright with a single bullet.
That officer, Kim Potter, a 26-year veteran of the force who resigned 2 days later. She was charged with second-degree manslaughter. A few months after that, an additional charge, first-degree manslaughter for reckless handling of a firearm. Opening statements are set to begin today. If she's found guilty, she could face up to 15 years in prison on one charge and 10 years on the other. This body camera video will likely play a central role in the trial.
That chest cam footage is extremely disturbing, but it is her best defense. And the camera really does indicate she thought she pulled her taser.
Ultimately, that'll be up to the jury, who will be seated in the same jury box as the people who convicted former officer Derek Chauvin.
I'm not a bad guy, man. In the car. I'm not a bad guy.
In the death of George Floyd.
It really comes down to how they feel about policing.
A complicated issue in this country and in this courtroom. I'm Britt Conway reporting.
We'll be right back.
Coronavirus lockdowns and restrictions force people to adapt to a socially distanced world, even though vaccines are helping life regain some normalcy. But the emergence of the Omicron variant is serving as a reminder that COVID-19 still poses a risk. Fox News correspondent Marianne Rafferty has more on how new robots are allowing people to stay socially distanced without missing out on life.
It's being called the world's most advanced human-shaped robot. Meet Ameca, a gender and race-neutral android hoping to help people navigate through the ever-evolving digital world by making it more comfortable for humans to interact with humanoids.
Human face is a very high bandwidth communication tool, and that's why we've built these expressive robots.
But as the pandemic continues, Ameca can also help you avoid person-to-person contact without feeling left out. With virtual reality software improving and the metaverse expanding, Ameca can bridge together internet platforms and real-life social settings.
Imagine taking your metaverse character out into the real world. You'll need some embodiment for that. So you wanted to take your virtual self to a meeting in New York, Hawaii, Hong Kong, send a robot.
Meanwhile, educators in France are experimenting with robots in schools to avoid sick kids missing class. Using a device called Buddy, kids at home or in the hospital can still take part in their lessons. They simply log into their Buddy using a personal laptop or tablet, and Buddy allows them to engage with their teacher and classmates.
One of the lessons behind the health crisis is keeping the schools open for everyone, whatever their circumstances. So even a child who faces limitations, who is sick at home or in hospital, should have access to this modern technology.
Officials in France hope to launch 4,000 Buddy robots to schools across the country next year, while Ameca is available for purchase and costs $133,000. Marianne Rafferty, Fox News.
There is an entire series of movies as to why that may not be a good idea. Just ask Arnold Schwarzenegger, okay? That's all I'm saying. They look pretty cool. And honestly, I was just talking to Carrie. I think that price, that's not too bad given what it can do and what it is. But I don't know about that. Well, if you're not using a robot and you're getting ready to fly, get ready to face the future of flying. It may start to look a little different now thanks to advanced technology and the use of biometrics. Passengers on national flights to certain destinations can now use their face as a bag check, customs clearance, or even boarding pass. The New York Times reports the latest technology is currently used by Delta at 8 national gates. The process is not only supposed to be efficient and streamline long lines, it also touts a 99.5% accuracy rating. We'll be right back with more after this, but first let's take a look at the market prices before the opening bell.
Imagine being in prison for 27 years for a crime that you didn't commit. Well, that's what happened to James Lucien. He's finally free, though, and his family is certainly overjoyed as well. Sarah Congi has more on the story.
James Lucien walking out of court a free man and into the arms of his family after spending 27 years in prison. The emotional reunion coming after a judge vacated his murder conviction.
I feel good because I'm with my family now. I've been waiting for a whole 27 years for this, and now I have an opportunity to be free.
Lucien, now 48, was serving a life sentence after a jury found him guilty in 1995 of murder and armed robbery. But the defense says he is an innocent victim of a corrupt police detective.
We believe if the investigation had been conducted properly, that it would have pointed to another suspect.
But the family of Ryan Edwards, the young man who was shot and killed, opposes Lucien's release.
I think it's horrible, but,
Now he's free and there's nobody to help our family, and my brother's murder goes as another unsolved murder.
The judge urged the victim's family to place blame on the police detective, which the court found lied and tampered with evidence.
The person to blame is the lead detective in this case, Detective Brazel. If he had been honest and if he had done his job correctly, we would not be here.
Lucian and his family say they are not angry, just grateful for the outcome.
We've been praying for years. We just are so thankful that God has prevailed and victory has been served. We are so grateful.
We're to switch gears now and touch base on the forecast, and this is certainly a much welcome pace compared to all the cloud cover we saw the other day, and not to mention the few areas that saw maybe a few flurries and sprinkles. This wave continues to push out toward the east. We're going to watch later on this evening though for another quick wave to come along the jet stream coming at us from the northwest. But at the surface, high pressure is in control once again, also aiding in a southerly breeze that many of you are experiencing if you're heading outside right now. But this again, nice to see all the cloud cover cleared on out as we went throughout the course of the night, and certainly looking a lot brighter and a lot better at 7th and Range Line as well. The latest numbers from Joplin have us at 31 with the south wind to 6, gusting near 25 miles per hour. As far as the rest of the region, still some mid-20s, especially in southeastern Kansas, but everybody else trying to zero in on the upper 20s and lower 30s as we get closer to the top of the hour. So any kids still scrambling to head to the bus stop, it is going to be cold to start the day out, but you don't have to worry about the rain gear. You won't need it at all for today. In fact, you're looking good for the commute home, topping out around 56 degrees this afternoon, and that applies for just the entire area in general. We'll be working into the mid-30s during the next hour, 51 by noon, afternoon highs topping out around 56 in downtown Joplin. But everyone else is going to look pretty good throughout the course of the day. Mostly sunny skies, a southerly breeze of 5 to 10 miles per hour. Pool will push us near 50 by noon, and everyone pushes into the mid-50s this afternoon. Then again, another quick wave wants to bring in some cloud cover later on tonight and maybe a random sprinkle or two as overnight lows early around midnight dip back to 47. But look at how we started warming things up even before we head towards sunrise Thursday morning. That is certainly going to lead to a warmer Thursday and a mild start to the weekend. We'll break down those numbers when we break down the 7-day and as we wrap up the show when we come back.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Here's what's happening today. President Biden and Russian President Vladimir Putin spoke about the situation in Ukraine on a video call that lasted about 2 hours. With tens of thousands of Russian troops at the border with Ukraine, the president warned Putin that an invasion would prompt tough economic sanctions on Russia. As more Omicron variant cases are detected in the U.S., Dr. Anthony Fauci says symptoms reported so far don't seem severe, while he stressed it's too early to draw any conclusions. Meantime, New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio's vaccine mandate for all municipal workers has suffered a setback. The Manhattan court has agreed to a hearing to consider a restraining order on it. The hearing does not affect the mandate the mayor announced Monday on employers of private businesses. Lawmakers in Congress have reached a deal to raise the nation's debt limit that will allow Democrats to increase borrowing without votes from Republicans, and that could avert another scramble to avoid a federal default. Now, here's Nick Kelly with Check of That Forecast.
And as I promised, Chris, one last look at the 7-day forecast again. After quite a cloudy Tuesday, we're looking a lot better today with mostly sunny skies. Highs will push back to 56 this afternoon, 68 for your Thursday, 73 for Friday. A nice mild start to the weekend. However, that's when our next cold front will roll on through. That could bring some scattered showers our way during the day on Friday, but ultimately its main job will cool us down again. 49 on Saturday and 56 on Sunday, but still the majority of the weekend is not looking too bad.
Do you know what today is?
Wednesday.
I'm making a sweet face. I'm making a sweet face because today is a very sweet day.
I have no idea what's going on.
It's a sweet day. It's a very sweet day. Wednesday. So you mentioned that's what today is. It's a very sweet day. Take a look. December 8th marks National Brownie Day every year. You can mark the day by going out to a bakery for a brownie or trying out a new recipe at home. However you mark it, you can post photos to social media, the hashtag National Brownie Day. And here's a fun fact. You ready? Nick's just making faces. I don't know if that means he's ready.
No, I'm ready.
Okay, he's ready. See, I got to be sure because when he looks at me like that, it's hard to tell. Yeah. According to legend, brownies were invented at the Palmer House Hotel in Chicago in 1893. The Palmer House brownie included walnuts and an apricot glaze.
Now that raises the question, though, are blondies considered a type of brownie?
Blondie is a type of music group from the 1980s that had
such
hits as Heart of Glass and...
Well, we know that, but hopefully you know what I'm talking about.
I have no clue. I'm not very cultured, I'll warn everybody now.
Okay, this is something that we'll have to settle once we hop off the air. But in the meantime, Chris, I think we got to wrap things up.
Unfortunately, we do. We hope you have had a good time with us. Thank you so much for letting us put the good in your morning. We're going to be back, KOAM News at noon, and of course, Nick's full forecast then. Have a great morning.
And a better day ahead of us.
That too.